Hello viewers, PMK94 here. Welcome to another PMK Plays. This time around we are playing Dear Esther. I know absolutely nothing about this except for the fact that it is a walking simulator. That's what I saw it called. So, okay, those options look good. Let's jump right in. Ah, there's different levels? Maps? Alright, start with this one. Oh, chapters. Okay, gotcha. Gotcha.
Dear Esther, the gulls do not land here anymore. I've noticed that this year they seem to shun the place. Maybe it's the depletion of the fishing stock driving them away. Perhaps it's me. When he first landed here, Donnelly wrote that the herds were sickly and their shepherds the lowest of the miserable classes that populate these Hebridean islands. 300 years later, even they have departed.
Huh. Alright. Guys hear voices. Go in there in a second. Oh, cool, flashlight. Yeah, right? What's in here? Very dirty toilet. Okay. Hello? Alright, going now. So yeah, like I said, I know absolutely nothing about this game. All I know is that I'm walking. Do I want to go up there or do I want to stay down here? I'm gonna stay... Maybe I should have gone up there. I don't know, I'll figure that out in a second. But... this is interesting so far. Nice view of the ocean here. Yeah, speaking of oceans, I really hope that Stranded Deep gets updated real soon. That's a good game, just there's not a whole lot to do in it just yet. Except surviving, as you go exploring with stuff. Should I have gone up there? I mean, there's a path down here too. So, you know, going on the beach, but I don't know what was up there. Now I don't want to go all the way back. That conundrum. Such a conundrum. Alright. And we are walking. And walking. And more walking. There's another path. That might be another way up. Yes, yes it is. So I can just go that way. Is there anything over here, though? There's an organ. Wait,
those islands in the distance, I'm sure, are nothing more than relics of another time. Sleeping giants, somnambulist gods laid down for a final dreaming. I wash the sand from my lips and grip my wrist ever more tightly. My shaking arms will not support my fading diaries.
Alright. That is an organ, right? I might have my instruments wrong there. Not entirely sure, though. I swear I hear voices. What the hell? Okay. Well, I guess I'll just keep going along the beach then until I can't go any further. It looks like I can just keep going this way, but yeah, I'm curious as what was up that way. But I want to keep going here too.
Dear Esther, I found myself to be as featureless as this ocean, as shallow and unoccupied as this bay, a listless wreck without identification. My rocks are these bones, and a careful fence to keep the precipice at bay. Shot through me caves, my forehead a mount. This area will transmit into me so. All overexposed, the nervous system, where Donnelly's boots and yours and mine still trample. I will carry a torch for you. I will leave it at the foot of my headstone. You will need it for the tunnels that carry me under.
That's cool, I have a flashlight. Don't need a... oh, there we go. So, guess we're going up the hill then. What happened if I just went into the water and started swimming out? Would it stop me? I feel like it would stop me, probably. But let's just head back to those stairs we saw. So what is this symbol? Okay, back to the stairs. So let's see what's up here. I assume this goes to the same place that I would have gone to if I went up the other way, but I have no way of knowing for sure. That's a really nice view. I wonder how long each of these chapters is. So is that... Now this looks like a different part, unless I just keep going up here and I can maybe see it from the other side. So, like he mentioned a torch. I'm noticing like a bunch of stuff are going around. It might have been older stuff, and considering I have a flashlight and I see a red light.
Donnelly's book had not been taken out from the library since 1974. I decided it would never be missed as I slipped it under my coat and avoided the librarian's gaze on the way out. If the subject matter is obscure, the writer's literary style is even more so. It is not the text of a stable or trustworthy reporter. Perhaps it is fitting that my only companion in these last days should be a stolen book written by a dying man.
Right, as I was saying, considering there's like what looks like a radio tower off in the...
When someone had died or was dying, or was so ill they gave up what little hope they could sacrifice, they cut parallel lines into the cliff, exposing the white chalk beneath. You could see them from the mainland or the fishing boat, and know to send aid or impose a cordon of protection, and wait a generation until whatever pestilence stalked the cliff paths died along with its hosts. My lines are just for this, to keep any would-be rescuers at bay. The infection is not simply of the flesh.
Infection. Alright. But anyway, radio tower off in the distance. I want to assume this takes place in modern times. I was trying to figure out, like, when this
I quote
might
directly.
take place.
A motley lot with little to recommend them. I have now spent 3 days in their company. That is, I fear, enough for any man not born amongst them. Despite their tedious inclination to quote scripture, they seem to me the most godforsaken of all the inhabitants of the Outer Isles. Indeed, in this case, the very gravity of that term, forsaken by God, seems to find its very apex. It appears to me that Donnelly, too, found those who wander this shoreline to be adrift from any chance of redemption. Did he include himself in that, I wonder?
Interesting. So there was something about an infection. So,
Dear Esther, I met Paul. I made my own little pilgrimage. My Damascus, a small semi-detached on the outskirts of Wolverhampton. We drank coffee in his kitchen and tried to connect to one another. Although he knew I hadn't come in search of an apology, reason or retribution, he still spiraled in panic, thrown high and lucid by his own dented bonnet. Responsibility had made him old. Like us, he'd already passed beyond any conceivable boundary of life.
alright. This game is terrible for a PMK player. I don't get to talk.
This hermit, this seer, this distant historian of bones and old bread, where did he vanish to? Why? Asked the farmers. Why? Asked Jacobson. Why bother with your visions at all, if you're just to throw your arms up at the cliff and let it close in behind you and seal you into the belly of the island, a museum shut to all but the most devoted?
I don't misunderstand. I very much like story-driven games like this. But, I don't know, probably should have picked a better game for PMK plays, because moreover we're just walking, experiencing the story, but I guess you get to hear my reactions. I'm gonna find some way to make this funny. That is my goal here. I'm sure diehard fans of this, if there are any, would get annoyed at that. But don't worry, I'll save it for the end. If I do so. Is it even possible to die in this? That is my other curiosity now. If there is, I will find a way. Trust me. Just trust me. Or yell at me not to in your screens, and then yell at me and ask why I did so when you get to that point in the video, but that'd be a different story. This is a lot of holding down W. So I'm gonna eventually get to that. And who is Esther? And where exactly am I going? And what am I doing here? So many questions. So much walking. For those wondering,
I've become convinced I'm not alone here, even though I'm equally sure it is simply a delusion brought upon by circumstance. I do not, for instance, remember where I found the candles, or why I took it upon myself to light such a strange pathway. Perhaps it is only for those who are bound to follow.
lost my train of thought, completely forgot what I was gonna say. Oh right, for those wondering, this is the fastest I am able to move. There's like no sprinting or anything like that, if anybody was wondering. So yeah, just walking. Just casually walking through. Enjoying the scenery. Ooh, what's that? Okay. I guess we'll go this way. Right, so playing this game, like if you haven't noticed, a lot of the PMK plays have just been various seemingly random games, and that is partially true, mostly true. Pretty much I'm going through my Steam list and playing games I have not played before that sound somewhat interesting to give them a try and see what might work good for video. So that's basically how things are going right now. Obviously, I've already played more I Am Bread, because that game is really fun now. It is difficult, but it is fun. Very fun. So definitely expect more videos of I Am Bread. Uh-oh.
Dear Esther, I have now driven the stretch of the M5 between Exeter and Bristol over 21 times. But although I have all the reports and all the witnesses, and have cross-referenced them within a millimetre using my Ordnance Survey maps, I simply cannot find the location. You'd think there would be marks to serve as some evidence. It's somewhere between the turn-off for Sanford and the welcome brake services. But although I can always see it in my rear-view mirror, I have as yet been unable to pull ashore.
Yeah, as soon as he said M5, my mind went to a completely different game. Sineth will know if he watches this. Sineth will know. Sineth always knows. Especially when he doesn't. And I'm sure there's plenty of story details I have not picked up on yet. Because trying to think of things to say except not really thinking at the same time, because, you know, this is YouTube's and the PMK plays. I gotta say some stuff, but maybe I should just title this one PMK Walks instead of PMK Plays. So there you go. If it's titled that, now you know why. If it's not, oh well. I found a boat. I found a boat. Big boat. Otherwise known as a ship. More commonly known as a ship. I'm getting a strange urge to play Skyrim now, I'm not sure why. Or Fallout New Vegas. Been meaning to start a new playthrough on Fallout New Vegas. Might stream it, might do a PMK plays. Maybe both. Like I was doing Skyrim. So, what, am I just like lost on this island? Did I just wash up ashore? Or like, what is going on here? Or hold on, am I the guy who is saying like, Dear Esther? It's like, am I the voice or am I Esther? Can I not keep going this way?
There must be a hole in the bottom of the boat. How else could new hermits have arrived?
New hermits. Hole in the bottom. Do I need to get into the boat? Well, no, I can't go that way, so... I guess we're going back then. So I can get down here. Is there a hole in the bottom of the boat? Like, what is he talking about? I can't go down there. I'm glad that it seems like it's very hard to get stuck so far. So, there's a box, but... Hole in the bottom of the... I don't see any holes. Alright, we'll just keep going back up this way then. Yes, I have no idea, like, if I'm technically still in the first chapter. I would think so. I already forget what it was called. Can I check? No. That's okay. That's okay. We'll just keep going. So it came from over there. Now we're going up.
I had kidney stones, and you visited me in the hospital. After the operation, when I was still half submerged in anesthetic, your outline and your speech both blurred. Now my stones have grown into an island and made their escape, and you have been rendered opaque by the car of a drunk.
Wait. So wait, am I dead? Hold on, that sounds like... Basically he's saying I got hit by a drunk driver, or did he get hit? What is going on here? Because like before he got to that last part, I was thinking, oh, okay, I must be Esther, but then it's like... Sounds like Esther is dead. Do I need to go down there?
Is this what Paul saw through his windscreen? Not Lot's wife looking over her shoulder, but a scar in the hillside, falling away to black forever.
Whoa. I am so confused. Wait. Huh. So, those are the questions being raised now. Am I Esther? Is Esther dead? Like, what is going on? Because, I mean, that made it sound like Esther is dead, or maybe the voice guy is dead. The narrator? Like, it sounds like Esther, or based on what he's saying, like, Dear Esther. Like he's writing letters or something? Man, this is getting pretty good. And I still don't even know what's going on. I do see a house, though, or something. Perhaps just a shack.
I've begun my ascent on the green slope of the western side. I've looked deep into the mountain from the shaft, and understood that I must go up and then find the way under. I will stash the last vestiges of my civilization in the stone walls and work deeper from there. I'm drawn by the aerial and the cliff edge. There is some form of rebirth waiting for me there.
Okay, so what it sounds like is maybe I had read this guy's letters or something, and I'm following what he mentioned about this place, because he did just mention looking into the mountain over there, and now I'm going up the green hillside.
The bothy was constructed originally in the early 1700s. By then, shepherding had formalized into a career. The first habitual shepherd was a man called Jakobsen, from a lineage of migratory Scandinavians. He was not considered a man of breeding by the mainlanders. He came here every summer whilst building the bothy, hoping eventually that becoming a man of property would secure him a wife and a lineage. Donnelly records that it did not work. He caught some disease from his malcontented goats and died 2 years after completing it. There was no one to carve white lines into the cliff for him either.
These white lines.
When the oil lamps ran out, I didn't pick up a torch, but used the moonlight to read by. When I've pulled the last shreds of sense from it, I will throw Donnelly's book from the cliffs and perhaps myself with it. Maybe it will wash back up through the caves and erupt from the spring when the rain comes, making its return to the hermit's cave. Perhaps it will be back on the table when I wake. I think I may have thrown it into the sea several times before.
Alright. I know this isn't that kind of game, but man, if they were dicks, they could so easily put in a jump scare or something, because you would totally, like... I don't think most people would expect it. So if they were dicks, they could totally do that. And I would probably freak the fuck out, because it's like, part of me is like, oh, that could easily happen, but at the same time, it probably won't, because this isn't a horror game. But it's like, if they did, it's just, eh. So that seagull kind of made me think of that. Yeah. Wait, am I supposed to go down, or am I still going up here? Oh no, because I guess I was supposed to find a way down and under. Here we go. We're not going up. Wait, is it? I saw a railing up there, though. Alright, whatever. Let's go down. I imagine they'd expect us to go a certain place, certain direction. You know, even though the commentary is not that great and it's kind of less time in it because of the narration going on, I am enjoying this. Enjoying doing a more story-driven game like this. Like this, obviously, this is like 100% story-driven, pretty much, because all you're doing is walking around, exploring things, figuring out what's going on, figuring out the story.
Jakobsen's ribcage, they told Donnelly, was deformed, the result of some birth defect or perhaps a traumatic injury as a child. Brittle and overblown it was, and desperately light. Perhaps it was this that finally did for him, unable to contain the shattering of his heart. In half-light, his skeleton a discarded prop, a false and calcified seabird.
I think I missed something. Who's Jacobsen? Very certain either I missed something or what. I don't know. Definitely feels like I missed something though. I think I'm on like the other side of that.
They found Jakobsen in early spring. The thaw had only just come. Even though he'd been dead nearly 7 months, his body had been frozen right down to the nerves and had not even begun to decompose. All around him, small flowers were reaching for the weak sun. The goats had adjusted happily to life without a shepherd and were grazing freely about the valley. Donnelly reports they hurled the body in fear and disgust down the shaft. But I cannot corroborate this story.
Goats have been mentioned. Noman will be happy now. Just automatically. She's probably not even gonna watch this. But she might. Who's to say? Oh man, if you're watching this, I expect a comment because goats were mentioned. Alright. Well, I guess we found the way down.
Climbing down to the caves, I slipped and fell and have injured my leg. I think the femur is broken. It is clearly infected. The skin has turned a bright, tight pink, and the pain is crashing in on waves, winter tides against my shoreline, drowning out the ache of my stones. I struggled back to the bothy to rest, but it has become clear that there is only one way this is likely to end. The medical supplies I looted from the trawler have suddenly found their purpose. They will keep me lucid for my final ascent.
What the hell was with that music? Alright, should I go that way or this way? I mean, I want to explore. I'm going to start with the cave. It's kind of closer. But, that music was kind of freaking me out. Not going to lie. And so I decided to go into the deep dark cave that isn't actually that dark. Hello? Alright.
Donnelly's addiction is my one true constant. Even though I wake in false dawns and find the landscape changing and flowing inconstantly through my tears, I know his reaching is always upon me.
Okay, based on the breathing, I definitely sound like a guy. God, I thought it was a person for a second. So am I, like, able to walk? Yeah, I seem to be. It's a flashlight. I gotta say, the water looks a lot better in here than it did on the ocean. Very static, that doesn't seem that dynamic. Oh man. Okay. I have no idea what to expect at this point. Because, like, it goes from just walking around outside on an island, suddenly you're inside this really cool looking cave, at the same time unnerving. That's interesting. Oh, what's this? Tell us the way we're supposed to go. What is this? Hello? What is this? Whoa. Alright, that's pretty awesome. Okay, so what is this all about then? All these stalagmites and stalactites. Or stalactites. I always want to call them stalactites for some reason.
It was as if someone had taken the car and shaken it like a cocktail. The glove compartment had been opened and emptied with the ashtrays and the boot. It made for a crumpled museum, a shattered exhibition.
Yeah, I was supposed to go the other way. Oh, yeah, I might have had to jump into the water or something. So at least that was water and not a straight drop down to more rock. Alright. I guess we're going into the water then. Alright, here we go. Okay, I'm glad we're not finding a body or something down here. Okay. Alright. So once again, I've forgotten to start my timer. No idea how long I've been going for, but I want to keep going. Because I just don't know what to expect. Okay. Oh, is this where is that where is that where I fell from? I think it's where I jumped from. Possibly. Wait, can I get around? Yeah, just gotta be careful about it or else I will fall again. Which we don't want to do. Yeah, I think this is where, like, that is where I jumped from the first time. And there's blood. I think that's blood. That looks like blood. Oh god. It's always a bad sign in games. But I am so confused. Am I the guy writing the letter or whatever's going on? Or I can't be Esther because this guy, whoever I am, when they were grunting and being generally uncomfortable after falling from that drop, it sounded very masculine. So I'm definitely not Esther. But who is Esther? I feel like I'm still crouching for some reason. We got out of the thing. You don't have to crouch anymore.
Wow. I'm traversing my own death throes. The infection in my leg is an oil rig that dredges black muck up from deep inside my bones. I swallow fistfuls of diazepam and paracetamol to stay conscious. The pain flows through me like an underground sea.
Okay, this looks pretty cool. Wow. Now, I know I can see pathways over that way, but it doesn't look like there's anything over there. I mean, maybe walking over there would trigger more dialogue, but I just want to keep things flowing right now. Like the water. Not like a river of pee. I'm sorry, I'm ruining the atmosphere here. I'm just gonna try to stay calm and relaxed for this one. It's part of the reason I played this. Calm and relax, and I cannot even go this way. Can I ride the river? Yay! At least that'll help me get back over here quicker. Or not. Okay, I need to like Google Dear Esther speedrun now just to see if that's even possible. Probably not, but you know, that's a stupid thought. This is just keep going. So I guess I was supposed to go this way after all. Okay. Don't know if I was supposed to go in the river for it, but I mean it seems to be working. It's a bit quicker. And assuming that I hurt my leg like that guy, or if I am that guy, I should probably give my leg a rest. Wait, that looks like an opening, I think? Should I on the pier, maybe? No, that's not an opening. No, not that. Okay, I was supposed to go up then. Okay. My bad. Well, let's get back up there then. There we go. Very interesting how it interacts with parts of the environment, because like I said, there's no sprinting, no jumping or anything. Like if you see me seem to jump, that's just the game doing it on its own. So like it's referred to very much a walking simulator. Which honestly, I mean I understand the term, but it's kind of insulting in a way. I mean, it's like, okay, you walk around a lot. Ha ha ha, it's just a walking simulator. It's about the story, you know? Which I'm still trying to figure out what's going on. But it wouldn't be as good if they just told you everything right from the start. I mean, they gotta leave you with questions to keep you coming back for more. If they give you all the answers right away, you have no reason to keep playing to figure out what the answers to those questions are. Like, my biggest one, who is Esther? And who am I? Who is this character I am playing here? And am I the person who is writing to Esther, or speaking to, or whatever is going on there? And also, like, when, where, and in what time period does this take place? That was kind of questioned with the when part, but I am very interested so far. This is good. This is good. Ooh. Is that like a way out? I can't get up there though. Totally looks like I could, but I can't. Just teasing me here.
This cannot be the shaft they threw the goats into.
What?
It cannot be the landfill where the parts of your life that would not burn ended up. It cannot be the chimney that delivered you to the skies. It cannot be the place where you rained back down again to fertilize the soil and make small flowers in the rocks.
Okay. Guess if there were dead goats in there, it'd be a lot bloodier. That looks pretty clean to me. Less so now that I jumped in it, but... Wait, he's actually starting to say stuff. Behold, Damascus... I can't really make that out. There's actual words now, and a lot more writing and drawings, and I'm getting kind of scared. Oh god, there's the music again. Is that... away from being a city? And it shall be a ruinous keep? A Ruinous. I can't really read what last word is either. Ruinous keep? Away from being a city, and it shall be a ruinous keep? I don't know if it actually said keep, but I couldn't really make it out. More stalactites. Alright. So there's another better question. What is with the writing and drawings on the walls? These are kind of fading into existence as I approach them, and it is both disturbing and immersion breaking. But maybe it's more immersive. It's like, what's going on? It's kind of freaky, because it's like, is it a graphic limitation, or are they forming in front of me? Either way, I'm kind of scared. Okay, let's test it. Okay, they're just forming in front of me as I get close. That's... If it's intentional, it's a neat effect. But at the same time, if it's not, then my draw distance should not be that bad. Am I going around or am I going across? Try to go around, didn't work. What the f... This character is must have been involved in the car crash. But now what? Where am I supposed to go? Okay. Is that an exit? That looks like an exit. I think that's daylight. It's nighttime now. It's a tent. Alright, I guess we're just following the candles. We're moving faster.
I sat here and watched two jets carve parallel white lines into the sky. They charted their course, and I followed them for 21 minutes until they turned off near Sanford and were lost. If I were a gull, I would abandon my nest and join them. I would starve my brain of oxygen and suffer delusions of transcendence. I would tear the bottom from my boat and sail across the motorways until I reached this island once again.
Here, let me, wait, there was something else up there, wasn't there? Ah, crap. Hey, it's the light of the dog. Let's just keep going. Okay, the water looks a lot better now here. Yeah.
For fire and soil, I chose fire. It seemed the more contemporary of the options, the more sanitary. I could not bear the thought of the reassembly of such a room. Stitching arm to shoulder and femur to hip, charting a line of thread like traffic stilled on a motorway, making it all acceptable for tearful aunts and traumatized uncles flown in specially for the occasion. Reduce to ash, mix with water, make a phosphorescent paint for these rocks and ceiling.
There's that symbol again. We saw that before. So back before he went into the cave, it was on one of those pillars. Radio tower. Like, if that's here, there's no way this could be an abandoned island.
There were chemical
somewhere.
diagrams on the posters on the walls on the waiting room. It seemed appropriate at the time. Still life abstractions of the processes which had already begun to break down your nerves and your muscles in the next room. I crammed diazepam as I once crammed for chemistry examinations. I am revising my options for a long and happy life.
I guess we're not going to be able to get to the tower then.
From here, I can see my armada. I collected all the letters I'd ever meant to send to you, if I'd have ever made it to the mainland, but had instead collected at the bottom of my rucksack, and I spread them out along the lost beach. Then I took each and every one, and I folded them into boats. I folded you into the creases, and then, as the sun was setting, I set the fleet to sail. Shattered into 21 pieces, I consigned you to the Atlantic, and I sat here until I'd watched all of you sink.
All right. Or a sudden, a light from heaven shone around him, and he fell to the ground. Alright. Well, yeah, looks like we're going back up. Oh man. Sorry for being a bit quieter at this point. I'm just getting like really engrossed into this now. Really want to find out what happens next. So he wrote those letters and then set them out into the water. So am I him, or... Yeah, because if I was Esther, for one thing, I would not have sounded like a man when I fell
The pain
from
in
that
my legs sent me
chasm.
blind for a few minutes as I struggled up the cliff path. I swallowed another handful of painkillers, and now I feel almost lucid. The island around me has retreated to a hazed distance, whilst the moon appears to have descended into my palm to guide me. I can see a thick black line of infection reaching for my heart from the waistband of my trousers. Through the fugue, It's all the world like the path I have cut from the lowlands towards the aerial.
Okay. So, is this guy hallucinating? His leg got infected from the fall. And there's more chanting.
I've begun my voyage in a paper boat without a bottom. I will fly to the moon in it. I've been folded along a crease in time, a weakness in the sheet of life. Now you've settled on the opposite side of the paper to me. I can see your traces in the ink that soaks through the fiber, the pulped vegetation. When we become waterlogged and the cage disintegrates, we will intermingle. When this paper aeroplane leaves the cliff edge and carves parallel vapor trails in the dark, we will come together.
Let's see. And was come near to what? Man, I can't see that one either. This music is unnerving me though. And he...
If only Donnelly had experienced this, he would have realized he was his own shoreline, as am I. Just as I am becoming this island, so he became his syphilis, retreating into the burning synapses, the stones, the infection.
It's 3 days without sight. And neither did he eat nor drink. So, and he was 3 days without sight, and neither did he eat nor drink. So we're getting closer to the radio tower after all. Okay. Guys, talk about the music creeping me out of it. The silence is almost just as unsettling.
Returning to my car afterwards, hands still shaking, and a head split open by the impact. Goodbye to tearful aunts and traumatized uncles. Goodbye to the phenomenal. Goodbye to the tangible. Goodbye Wolverhampton. Goodbye Sanford. Goodbye Cromer. Goodbye Damascus. This cliff path is slippery in the dew. It is hard to climb with such an infection. I must carve out the bad flesh and sling it from the aerial. I must become infused with the very air.
Wow. Okay. Alright. There's more writing. Yeah, we are getting to the radio tower. Fence. Alright. And it came to pass that as I made my journey, and was come... I can't really read the rest of that. Noon. Oh, that view, that is nice. That is really nice.
He was not drunk, Esther. He was not drunk at all. He had not drunk with Donnelly or spat Jakobsen back at the sea. He had not careered across the lost shores and terminal beaches of this nascent archipelago. He did not intend his bonnet to be crumpled like a spent tissue by the impact. His windscreen was not star-studded all over like a map of the heavens. His paintwork etched with circuit diagrams, strange fish to call the gulls away. The phosphorescence of the skid marks lighting the M5 all the way from Exeter to Damascus.
He's starting to sound kind of angry, and the wind is picking up, and now it's starting to snow. I'm kind of worried. They came into Damascus. He's going. Is that just a rock? That's just a rock, right? Right?
I have run out of places to climb. I will abandon this body and take to the air.
Okay.
Dear Esther, I have burnt my belongings, my books, this death certificate. Mine will be written all across this island. Who was Jakobsen? Who remembers him? Donnelly has written of him, but who was Donnelly? Who remembers him? I have painted, carved, hewn, scored into this space all that I could draw from him. There will be another to these shores to remember me. I will rise from the ocean like an island without bottom, come together like a stone, become an aerial, a beacon, that they will not forget you. We've always been drawn here. One day the gulls will return and nest in our bones and our history. I will look to my left and see Esther Donnelly flying beside me. I will look to my right and see Paul Jakobsen flying beside me. They will leave white lines carved into the air to reach the mainland, where help will be sent. Come back.
Alright, I guess that's it. I was expecting some kind of ending. That doesn't look like anything's gonna happen here, but And that was a very interesting experience. So not what I mean, it's hard to call it really a game. I mean, technically, yes, you play it, mostly just walking around, but that story though, that was very interesting. I'm still trying to figure out what exactly was going on there. I mean, I don't know, that was, it makes you think. Very much makes you think. So I definitely seem to have been the guy who was writing it to Esther, but then Esther come back. What was that all about? This game really definitely makes you think. I enjoyed it. If you guys enjoyed it, definitely consider liking, consider subscribing, all of that good stuff. Till next time, I'm gonna probably go back to more fun game. I mean, I wouldn't say this wasn't. This was a very interesting experience, but definitely after this, going back to more exciting games, I guess you could say. And I'm trying to put it in a way that doesn't insult this, because this was pretty good. This was pretty damn good. I enjoyed that. But anyway, if you guys did like this, make sure to like, consider subscribing, all that good stuff. Till next time, this has been PMK94. I'll see you guys then. Thanks for watching.